Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Well, today I wanted to take a few minutes with you to share with you my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection. It came out this past week, as a matter of fact. So I went over to Barnes & Noble and picked up my copy of Devil in a Blue Dress. This is the 1995 film directed by Carl Franklin, starring Denzel Washington as Easy Rawlins. This is the film based upon the novel from novelist Walter Mosely. So famous novelist Walter Mosely wrote the novel upon which this film is based. Denzel Washington is the star. He stars as Easy Rawlins. You also have Tom Sizemore in this film. He plays Albright in this movie, a very, very fascinating role. You also have Jennifer Beals. She plays Daphne Monet. She plays basically the title character, the woman that Easy Rawlins is contracted to go about finding her whereabouts and finding, where is she, right? So that is a very important role that she plays in this movie. So I really enjoyed her performance in this movie. And then of course, Don Cheadle, he brought a lot of pizzazz and energy and a different dynamic as the character Mouse in this movie. He played off of Denzel's character very well in this movie. So those are the four main characters of this film. You got Easy Rawlins. Who is he? Well, he's a black man in 1940s LA. This is a period piece. So this is a film from 1995. It comes in as spine number 1135 in the Criterion Collection, but it came out in 1995, and it's a period piece based in 1940s Los Angeles. And you get that historical perspective of what was going on in the life of African Americans, Black Americans living in LA in the 1940s. And you get a little bit of a taste of the socioeconomic things that were going on during that time. And the special features and the supplements do a really nice job of sort of laying out the details of how they set up this period piece in as accurate a way as possible, and in a way that really helped to tell the story and really put you in a time and a place and build that atmosphere that makes you really feel like you're in 1940s LA, getting a glimpse of Black culture during that time. I think the supplements did a really nice job of laying that out. Easy Rawlins is a man in that setting in 1940s LA. He has served in the military. He is now recently out of work. He just got fired from his job due to unfair situations. Racism played a role in his firing. And now he's out of work and he needs to find work. He needs money to pay his mortgage. He's behind on his mortgage, needs to pay his bills. And along comes Tom Sizemore, who is playing a character in this film named Albright, who offers him the job to go about finding this woman, played by Jennifer Beals, and find out where is she. She has some connection to a politician or a man running for political office. There's mystery there. Who is this woman? What is she all about? Her name is Daphne Monet, and Easy Rawlins is hired to go find her and hired with a lot of money to figure out the whereabouts of this woman. Not too long in the proceedings, Don Cheadle makes his way in the film as Mouse. He is the partner of Easy Rawlins, and he plays off of Denzel Washington's character very, very well. Don Cheadle brings some great energy to this film, a great dynamic that I think complements Easy Rawlins very, very well in this film. And the supplements talk about how they deviated from Walter Mosley's original work, but they did it in a way that served the story from a filmmaking perspective and also still honored the original work from Walter Mosely. And I thought that was really interesting how they laid that out in the supplements. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it had a nice amount of mystery to it. Denzel Washington, of course, always brings his A game to his performances, and this is no exception. I think he did a really nice job of humanizing Easy Rawlins and really putting you into his place as a character in this setting and making you feel like you are following or feel like you're seeing life through the eyes of this Black man living in the 1940s, his challenges, the things he's going through, the relationships and the people that he's involved with, and just everything he's going through, just trying to make it and trying to survive and dealing with the issues that were common to people living in that area at that time. And it also has some social commentary that not only relates to the 1940s, but sort of has, sort of resonates to some extent to this day. So I found that very interesting, and Denzel Washington, of course, delivers as always in this character. Thought the other characters were also great in this film. You had Tom Sizemore as Albright. I really enjoyed his character in this film, and of course he plays up the whole, racism dynamic as well. And that's a part of the makeup of his character. So I thought he did a really good job. Jennifer Beals, I thought, was wonderful in her role in this film. And Don Cheadle, of course, as I mentioned, just terrific as always. You also had Lisa Nicole Carson in this movie. Of course, Lisa Nicole Carson also appeared in Love Jones, which recently came out from the Criterion Collection. I thought she played a really nice role in this film as well as the other supporting characters in this movie. This is a movie I have not seen in a number of years, but was very happy to revisit it with this Criterion Collection release. I got this on 4K Ultra HD, the Blu-ray combo edition, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I will say from a picture quality standpoint, this really looks nice on 4K Ultra HD. I was thinking to myself as I was watching this movie, my general impression was the 4K picture was not blowing me away. It was not the most vibrant or the most, in your face type of a 4K experience, but it is a very solid 4K presentation. You got plenty of great detail. The image looks very organic. It is very clean. I think they did a really nice job with the restoration of this film. So if you look on the back here, it says a new 4K digital restoration, which is approved by director Carl Franklin. And I'll actually open up this case here to read a little bit about the transfer. It says that it is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. And it was created in 4K resolution on a Scanity film scanner from the original 35mm camera negative. So overall, this picture looks very nice, very organic, detailed. It is clean. I saw no blemishes or anything really at all wrong with the image in terms of dirt, scratches, or anything. All that has been totally cleaned up. It looks clean and beautiful but it's not the most vibrant type of an image. It does have Dolby Vision HDR, and I'm not sure if this is the kind of film that fully capitalizes on that Dolby Vision HDR, but you do get some instances where things pop a little bit from a color standpoint. But again, it's not the most vibrant type of a film, but the overall image is very solid, very nice 4K presentation that I enjoyed watching that really brings this film to life for audiences today. This is a 27-year-old film, and I think it was beautifully restored by Criterion. The sound is also very nice. You get a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack, and I think that those multiple channels in the audio soundtrack came across really well in this presentation. Really enjoyed the audio side of things. So I think overall the presentation is solid on this 4K Ultra HD disc. It's not gonna, blow you away or be the greatest representation of what you would want from a 4K Ultra HD presentation, but it is absolutely solid across the board, and I enjoyed it, and I think Criterion did a nice job with the presentation. Now, the special features are an area where this release really shines. In addition to the movie and the solid presentation, you do have an audio commentary on here, which features director Carl Franklin, which is very insightful. I think he gives a lot of nice details on the production of this film. And then you have a couple of really nice conversations on here. The first being a conversation between Carl Franklin and Don Cheadle. And they both talk about Don Cheadle's, the whole casting process of how Don Cheadle came into his role. So they spent a good amount of time talking about the casting of Don Cheadle as Mouse in this film and how he brought life to that character. But then they also talked a lot about the other characters or the other actors in this film, Denzel Washington, Tom Sizemore. They briefly mentioned Lisa Nicole Carson and the other actors that are in this film as well, and the experiences of working with, those actors, and talked a really good amount about how Don Cheadle, his acting process, and how he, brought his game to this particular role. He was very young at the time, and so just that whole process of figuring out it, getting him cast for this role was a very interesting conversation between him and Carl Franklin. You also have a nice conversation with writer Walter Mosely. He's the novelist who wrote the novel upon which this film is based. You have a nice conversation between him and screenwriter Attica Locke, which is a great conversation. Of course, Attica Locke has a great amount of admiration for Walter Mosely, and that really comes through in the interview. And that is a really good conversation where Walter Mosely just talks a lot about his writing style and how he came up with the story and his approach to writing the story Devil in a Blue Dress. So I thought that was interesting. And I thought it was really interesting how, of course, Walter Mosely wrote this novel upon which the movie was based. He did have some creative input in the production, of course, and was in the area while this film was being shot, but they talk about how he was not one that was over intrusive in the production. He trusted Carl Franklin and the filmmaker's ability to adapt his work to the screen, and he respected what they came up with. It was a little bit of a departure, slight departure in some ways, in order to make it work for film, and he was very pleased with the overall product. So I really enjoyed hearing about that and hearing his involvement in the production. You also have a really nice on-stage interview between Carl Franklin and film historian Eddie Muller, which was very good. So this was at a screening for the film, and it took place in 2018 at a Noir City Film Festival in Chicago. So this was a festival in Chicago. Eddie Muller was hosting this festival, and one of his guests was director Carl Franklin. They showed the movie Devil in a Blue Dress, and then they sat down with the audience and answered questions from the audience and just had a conversation about the movie and the filmmaking process. So I thought that was very fascinating. And then, of course, inside here, you have look inside here. Very nice. This is your 4K Ultra HD disc right here. And of course, this is the insert. Of course, the Blu-ray, which I have up here, sits in the back here, but I'll pull this insert out. And what you'll notice on the inside is just a plain blue background. Plain blue, beautiful. So I like the inside, I like the disc. I like the color of the disc. I just think it looks really, really nice. So I dig that. And then this is the actual insert, Devil in a Blue Dress. Looks very nice. So this is a very nice insert. Of course, you have pictures on the other side here that are very engaging, but of course the standard information that you typically have, the cast, the crew, credits, about the restoration, but a very nice article from Julian Kimball in here called Crossing the Line, which is an excellent essay that really goes into a little bit about the setting of this movie, the historical context, the challenges of Black people in 1940s LA, and just talks about that history a little bit and really gives you a little bit more texture on the significance of this film as a period piece. And I really thought that was very, very fascinating. In the conversation between Carl Franklin and Eddie Muller at the Chicago Noir Film Festival, they talked about how noir films it's not a typical blockbuster type of a genre, and and they talked about that a little bit and how it can sometimes be challenging to, pitch those types of stories to Hollywood because they're not the big blockbuster films that make a lot of money, and just the significance of noir films in general. So I really enjoyed that conversation. But overall, this is a very nice, solid addition from the Criterion Collection. I'm very happy that they released this film on 4K Ultra HD. Again, I enjoyed the presentation. I think it looks very nice. It's an organic looking feel to the image. And I love the period piece take on this particular story. And Denzel Washington, of course, always brings a great performance. The characters are fantastic in this film. And this is a really interesting film that I'm really happy was made because, again, films like this oftentimes can be hard to get made because of the type of film that it is. But I'm glad that it was made in 1995. Carl Franklin did a really nice job directing this film. Of course, the supplements talk a little bit about his background as well as an actor before he became a director. So, very similar to Bill Duke, who directed Deep Cover. Carl Franklin was also an actor before he got into directing, so that's a little bit of similarity there. And one of the things you also get from both Carl Franklin and Walter Mosely is they talk a little bit about their influences, what influenced them in their craft of writing the story upon which this movie was made, but also the influences that influenced Carl Franklin in his direction. So overall, solid entry from the Criterion Collection, Devil in the Blue Dress. I am happy that they have brought this into the collection, and it comes highly recommended if you're interested in diving into this area of cinema. But let me know in the comments below what you think about this movie. If you've seen Devil in the Blue Dress, let me know what you think about Denzel Washington's performance. What do you think about Tom Sizemore in this film, Don Cheadle, Jennifer Beals? Let me know all that in the comments below, and let me know if you've seen other films from director Carl Franklin. What is your favorite film from this director? What is your favorite Carl Franklin film? Let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.